Welcome to Wish I Had Known, the show where hindsight meets insight. Host Jody Lamb has worn many hats in the world of finance, from navigating the intricacies of financial planning to unraveling the mysteries of insurance claims and diving deep into the realm of structured settlements. Each episode explores the topics that make you say, if only I had known this sooner. Join the conversation as we uncover the insights that can make all the difference. This is Wish I Had Known, because knowledge is power and hindsight is 20/20.
If you're seeking guidance, inspiration, or simply a moment of connection, you're in the right place. Hello, and welcome to Wish I Had Known, the series where hindsight is not just 20/20, but information to help guide us through daily decisions and future opportunities. I'm your host, Jody Lamb, and I'm here to navigate the interesting paths of wisdom and opportunities with you so that you don't have to utter the words, wish I had known. Learning through experience and the power of retrospection, today we have a special insight into unlocking new opportunities and bringing personal fulfillment to life. Embracing a leap from claims adjusting into entrepreneur. Today we are joined to hear the successful story of Mary Rossi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jody. This is an amazing opportunity. My name is Mary Rossi, and I guess I'll introduce myself as a claims geek. I have been in the industry since 1986, so I've been in the industry a minute, and I was going to college, and I wanted to earn some extra money, and I responded to an ad in the newspaper back then. You know, everything was in the newspaper, and I responded to a position for a typist, clerical typist, and it was with an independent insurance adjusting company. I had no idea what that was. I was going to college. I was kind of running, doing my thing. And I got the job, and I started working for this independent firm, typing reports, eventually typing recorded statements. And I was incredibly fascinated. I've always had just a very inquisitive mind. And so I started learning about what an insurance adjuster does. I had no idea. And so I continued to go to school, and I continued to work for this independent adjuster. And one thing led to another. And when I was done with school, I decided to go to work for an insurance carrier. And that was way back in the early 90s. Started my career with the old Maryland Casualty, which is now Zurich. And after spending 30 years between four major carriers, 5 years ago this June, I decided to step out on my own and launch Rossi Claim Services, aka RCS. And
What? Okay, that's a big change. So very well established doing the claims job, and now you're going to step out and start your own company. What prompted that?
so the biggest thing that prompted it, my dad started to get ill in 2019, and he was early onset dementia. And it was really tough to handle, a huge carrier desk and, care for my folks. And so I made the ultimate decision to step away. And my employer was incredibly supportive. And so I stepped away, and I launched RCS, and I basically hit the ground running. And had a lot of support, had some various, connections in the industry that also supported. And I've just been running ever since I started my business almost 5 years ago.
In that transition, how much preparation was necessary? Or did you just decide today's the day I'm going to do it?
So there was definitely preparation involved. To have your own IA firm, you have to be licensed. And so I had spent some time studying for the California license, and ended up passing the exam, had my license. And then I started to obtain licenses in other states. I'm licensed in 15 states. And, there's other things involved. You've got to get your insurance in place, your professional liability. marketing material. And so I connected with some folks to get all of that going. And then I launched and it was off to the races. And it has been just an amazing opportunity for me. I love what I do. I love investigation. I have connected with so many people and it's just been, an exhilarating ride. Scary in the beginning, there's that factor of, oh my gosh, okay, I no longer have a 2-week paycheck and my benefits paid for and my 401k paid for. And so while it's exciting, it's also scary because now, you're on your own and it's all about you.
So up to the point where you started your own company and left that security of a paycheck and benefits. Looking back, you would share that you connect the dots when you look backwards. When your hindsight's 2020. We'll talk about what's happened since then. But in that transition, anything that you would have done differently in that timeline?
So, I probably would have met with a business coach back then. And, I've never had my own business. And so I basically went out going, okay, you know what? I've got 35 years, experience, and I've got lots of, years behind the desk as a carrier adjuster, but not running your own business before. You don't really have exposure to the other pieces of it, right? The accounting end and all the other hats that you have to wear. And so I most recently met with a business coach, who was just quite amazing and very inspiring. And talking about connecting the dots, Kyla Mitsunaga, I was talking to her and she, made a comment about Steve Jobs' quote, "You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back." And it is so amazing because I look back over my, probably 10 years and I see how all these dots are connecting. And I didn't see it then. And I don't know that I was meant to see it then, but I sure see it now. And so I think if one thing I would have done differently is I probably would have consulted with a business coach back then.
Okay.
But it's never too late.
Well, absolutely. Best time to plant a tree 20 years ago, second best time today. But you've done well. You've stepped into entrepreneurship, not only in opening your own independent adjuster agency, but, and beyond. Tell us what life has been like since you left the corporate claims world.
So, life has been very fast paced. I also planted a vineyard, and my dad always wanted to have wine grapes, but never had the opportunity. And so I have property and I have horses and I had extra room. And so as my dad was starting to get dementia, I said, you know what, this is the time for me to do this. And I planted 110 Cabernet and Merlot. And he got the opportunity on year 2 to eat some of the grapes. And then on year 3, I started getting more and more grapes. And then on year 4, I went, oh my gosh, I need to do something with these. And so again, looking at the dots backwards, I connected with an amazing winemaker who has just been, an incredible help to me. When I connected with him, I said, look, I don't want you to make the wine for me. I want you to teach me. I want to learn how to make wine. And so 2022 was first harvest. So we got to, press and crush the grapes and get them in the barrels and, during that whole year, learn the process. And then this last year was second crush, and had a lot more grapes because once you plant a few grapes, it kind of becomes infectious. And so the next year I planted more, and I have close to 500 vines now. And,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's been exciting.
I know the claims world. I know, 35 years can potentially lead to burnout. To be able to balance not only walking away from a corporate job, but to enter one where you become the CEO of your own world, including wines and grapes, sounds like a really great strategy. What brought the two of those together?
I never knew I had an entrepreneur in me. And I never thought about it. I never thought I would launch my own business. And launching RCS and being very successful, I had no doubt with the winery aspect. And I just had so much confidence. And, you just have to go for it. And, sure, there's things that you have to have and put in place, but I believe my claims business gave me the ability to now branch out into the winery world. And it's very small. It's boutique, which is how I want to keep it. But I think the two just went hand in hand.
So if anybody is looking to learn more about your winery or your IA firm, what's the best way to reach out to you or find you?
So the best way to reach out to me is my website, which is www.rossiclaimservices.com. And my phone number is also listed there as well. And my winery is called Hooligan Wines, and just became an LLC. So that's in the process right now of being rolled out. So it's not quite official yet, but it will be in the next couple of years. So there's a lot of really great things in store for, both RCS, because I've got some other things going on with RCS that I'll tell you later, and the winery business as well. So, and trying to keep that, energy going.
Tell us later, like in a couple minutes, or are we going to do this offline?
So we're going to do this.
Or we're going to, oh, absolutely. Okay. So we want to find out what the rest of the story continues. We got to call you directly.
You will find out soon. But there's one thing, I would like to say, to my colleagues in the insurance industry. I never took the time to breathe, and claims jobs are incredibly stressful, and we're running and running and running. And most of us are working, 50, 60, 70 hours. And, most recently in June of last year, I had just a tiny little bit of a health scare, nothing big, but it opened my eyes. And, I since then have been working with an incredible nutritionist, Beyond the Box Nutrition, and Gwen Holton has helped me immensely. I have completely changed my diet. And especially being on the road, it's really hard to eat healthy on the road. And, I'm taking really high quality supplements. I'm working out, and I'm just being very more mindful of taking care of the temple, because we only, have one. And so, it's really important, to stress that we really need to take care of our bodies.
I think the older that we get, the more that we appreciate the value of that message. We wish we had known and wish we had taken care of ourselves 20 years ago, 2 years ago, before we get to a critical point where, with the burnout, you can burn both ends of the candle to the point there's nothing left. You talk about, taking needed time off, if your cup isn't able to overflow to give to others, it's time to evaluate, do we need to fill our cup, or does our cup have a hole in it? And recognizing those, opportunities for growth so that we can improve our quality of life sometimes takes very big leaps of faith. Mm-hmm. And I love that you can look back and see, based on your experiences in your career, exactly how you have landed where you are today, operating your own independent winery and independent adjusting firm, so that you can help continue doing the work that you love and find that balance to be able to live the life that you've created in a healthy way. Well done.
Thank you, Jody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate those words.
Oh, well, I congratulate you. I hope that anyone here listening, if either in need of IA services, looking for a new winery to tour, definitely check her out. Mary is a wonderful person. She is super fun to talk to. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We got horses, we got dogs, we got foreign travel, all sorts of great things to continue conversations about. But for today, any final parting words or wish you had known, insight that you want to share with today's audience member that you want to farewell with?
Yeah. So, I love what you're doing, and I love the wish I would have known. And I think all of us in life look back and go, God, I wish I would have known. I wish, I could have done this differently. And sure, there's a few things in life I wish I would have done differently, but I believe it's all led me to where I am today. And for those, maybe adjusters who are thinking about, going out on their own eventually, get that experience and handle those claims and, try to learn as many different lines of business as you can. Instead of someday, 30, 35 years later going, gosh, I wish I would have branched out. And while it is scary to go outside of our box, if we keep pushing ourselves and learning and asking questions, for me, learning all of those lines of business has led me to where I am today, to be a successful business owner and to be able to offer, expert claims adjusting in a lot of different areas. So keep growing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mary. It's stories like yours that light our path, helping us to navigate our own journeys with a little more foresight and a lot less regret, and hopefully a lot less "I wish I had known" phrases.
Thank you, Jody.
I'm Jody Lamb. It's been an absolute pleasure spending this time with you today. If you have a remarkable experience to share or a challenging situation where you're uncertain what to do next, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, #AskJody. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Wish I Had Known.
For listening to today's episode. Please like, share, and subscribe so you can hear all of Jody's chats, so you don't have to say, "Wish I had known."